a little bit of setting up here for Workshop Wednesday. This is the camera wagon with a tripod attached, or with a camera holder attached. The camera wagon is extremely free running, so I'm going to put a wagon in between it and the Loco. The problem I've got with Loch Crinan here is that the regulator isn't quite closing when I shut the throttle on the remote control. This means that stopping the train has to be done on the reverser, which tends to be a little bit on and off. So what I'm hoping to do is to extend the linkage here, which looks fairly simple. Yeah, so I'm planning to undo this assembly at the top here, shut the throttle manually, and then put this back together. To do all this, I need it to be in steam, so that's the next stage. Get steam up, show you how it affects the performance of the train in real life from a bit of onboard footage, and then film making the adjustment, followed by some lineside footage of the train coming to a stop. Hope you enjoy it. This bit is necessarily in portrait view, because if I turn the camera to landscape view, my phone sticks out a bit too much either side, which causes problems with lineside structures. So the first step before I get any gas into the system, switch the Loco on. That little buzz tells me that the servos have woken up. And now I'm just going to use the remote control here. Reverser set to mid gear, throttle open. Loch Crinan is an Accucraft class, Caradoc class, being an Accucraft Loco, runs by instructions purely on butane, not a mixture of butane and propane. So let's fill her up. There we are, full. Pressure gauge is showing 40 psi now, so I'm going to turn the gas down slightly. There's a bit of water bubbling around the top of the safety valve, which implies to me I've overfilled the boiler, so I can open this vent down here, which is a boiler water level top up. That's the level the boiler's maximum for the boiler. That plug there is piped down to a small valve here. When I open it, steam comes out. So she's up to working pressure. Now I want to just clear the condensate from the cylinders. That was a move forward with the regulator shot. Oh, there we go. The regulator is shut, so I'm having to use the reverser to stop. Okay, well, let's see what that looks like out on the track. the look of it, just derailing the loco. For those of you familiar with horses, particularly show jumpers, the mere sight of a camera is enough to prompt them to stop doing their thing that they've done perfectly for, I don't know, 45 minutes or more around the practice ring, or in the school. As soon as the camera's on them, they'll have a look and go, oh, look at me, and knock everything over. It's exactly the same with live steam locos. Still, enough steam lit now to climb up the bridge. With the loco up on blocks now, I'm going to relight the gas, operate with the remote control just to check it's doing what it's doing on the track when it's up here, and then I'll disconnect the regulator servo here, undo that by I think probably 2 full turns, put it back on and see if that stops the rolling on issue. Yeah, it should do it. It should be easier than this because there's a grub screw hole there which is missing. So I was hoping to actually just undo the grub screw, rotate everything round a little and then do it back up, but there is no grub screw. In the cab here is the reverser, which controls forward and back. That's back, that's forward, that's mid-gear. Throttle, regulator, open, shut. This is the displacement lubricator, filled with 460 steam oil. Safety valve and bonnet, Great Western style bonnet on it. Fire irons, and there we see the left side motion. It's a piston valve control. Unlike the Mammoth you might have seen in other videos, it's controllable for forward and reverse with on the remote control. With the Mammoth you have to sort of push it in the direction you want to go it, want it to go in, and then it'll carry on in that direction. That's called a slip eccentric valve gear. This is fully controllable. You can watch the little here. I'm not going to completely touch it because the loco's getting good and hot again. Just here is the boiler maximum level fill. Sorry. There. That is piped through to this little stopcock here. If I open it, it will pour steam out. So I'm not going to do it for too long. When you're topping up with water on the move, well, not on the move, but when it's still in steam, there's a valve here called a good old valve, and that you pump water through that. I open that, and when water starts dripping out the bottom, I know the boiler's back up to its safe full level, which is well above safe. Anyhow, pressure gauge here shows that we're up to some sort of working temperature, pressure even. So what I'm going to do, put her in reverse, open the throttle. Obviously condensed again, so I need to just get rid of that. And then mid gear is stationary. That was with the regulator wide open. What I don't want to happen out on the track is for me to close the regulator and the loco to keep moving. So there we are, full forward gear, full regulator, close the regulator, and it keeps going for a little while. So this might be just pressure in the steam chests, or it might be a non-closing regulator. So I'm going to make the regulator adjustment, see if that sorts it out. By the way, if you occasionally hear the semi-automatic water pistol going, that's because Scooter, who you might have seen on the journey round, is straying out of limits, and I fire that and he comes back inside. Safety valve lifts at 60 psi. Right, so down here steam will come out. So I'm going to start topping up the boiler when I've got steam flowing here. So into the good old valve up here, which is a bit of a pain at times. And now water's coming out there, so I know the boiler's back up to a working, well, safe level. And the pressure has dropped to just below 30 psi. That's the job in hand. The regulator's currently wide open, and the reverser is in mid-gear. For this I'm just using lawnmower engine oil. Doesn't need to be as tolerant of high temperatures as the steam oil, because it doesn't go anywhere that's as hot, but it's tolerant to engine temperatures for a normal engine. So now then, I'll knock the gas off again briefly so I can turn the engine on its side and oil the inside motion, which gives you a chance to see it. So here we have, with my little towel out of the way, here we have the scars of some off-roading. That's the steam chest, and this is the Stevenson link valve gear. At least I think that's what it is. Oiling everything up that moves. Relight the gas. And let her carry on. Perhaps I should have done this live. I don't normally light through the chimney, but when it's been running well, it's not going to cause me any problems. Right, let's dismantle the regulator thing. First of all, check on the cat. Good boy. So to do this, I'm using a 6mm spanner on that nut and a 4mm spanner on this one. And once it's undone, I will use fingers. Hot though this may be. And there's the throttle linkage disconnected. Refill with gas, relight. Check on the cat. He's behaving himself. So everything's still warm. It should light through the chimney again. So that gas tank lasted 40 minutes, which isn't bad. Let's get the pressure back up. I'm going to put the reverser into full forward gear, but I'm going to run the regulator manually. So that is fully closed manually. And it moved about 2mm thereabouts. See how the servo control works. It's got a threaded rod with that bit at the top, so I need to undo that by, I think, 2 full turns. And then reconnect it to the regulator once I'm satisfied that that is fully shot. It might not be. If it isn't, that means there's a more extensive job involved, which I won't do today, which is packing the actual regulator housing, checking elsewhere. Got a bit of pressure. Not quite enough. As the gas gets warmer, its pressure in the tank increases, so it comes out faster. So closing the gas slightly. You do need, with these Accuraft locos, to be able to hear the gas flame. With my 2 Regner locos and the roundhouse engine, they're inaudible to me anyway, because I'm deaf. The Mamod also responds well to a healthy flame. So I can just hear that now. Pressure is coming up nicely, 30 psi, so it might move. Well, not move, but would move if it was on the railway. So I'll leave it in mid-gear, close the regulator. The driver of this loco here is one of David Clavy's creations, and he is named Caractacus Arthur for the Feck Hall barn. Why Caractacus? Well, the loco's a caradoc, and Caractacus is an alternative name for caradoc. It's the Romanised name of caradoc, and you can see it in Welsh as Grydigion. I might have pronounced that wrongly, but cardigan as it was, Grydion as it is now. And it's all the same Celtic chief. I'm not a nerd. Right, we've got working pressure now, 45 psi. Regulator open. Again ejecting condensate from the cylinders because it's pretty cold for a August day out here. Right, now we have pull forwards, and what I want is when I close the regulator by hand, because it's getting hot, what I really want, really want, is for that to stop entirely. Which it does. So I know that is now where I want this to end up. And the radio control, the throttle is fully shut, and I was right. 2 turns. This is where this nut goes flying off into the garden because my fingers are A, not very nimble, B, not very sensitive because of neuropathy. So I'm trying to avoid all the really hot bits. Well, I've got it on its thread. That's great. Hold it static with this. Tighten it up with this one. I haven't touched that gas control, and you can hear it's roaring away much louder than it was before. So turn it down a little more. Let's open the throttle on the remote control and close it. Stopped after 2 rounds. I'm happy with that because that is steam chest pressure. So now, let's climb back aboard and see if that now stops where it's supposed to. Here he comes. Scoots! What, time for lunch? Very nearly. Just what I wanted.